TJ, what do you look forward to the most when you imagine our life in 25 years?
So I will be looking forward to, just enjoying time with my family, preferably enjoying time with my grandkids, which is kind of weird to say right now. We'll be millionaires, multimillionaires by then, owning a lot of different things. Our families will be well set, we'll be well taken care of. The Lord is going to bless, He's going to take care of us. And what else do I look forward to the most when I imagine our life in 25 years? Our big, beautiful house that holds all of our family and the grandkids. They coming over, the kids can do whatever they want to do. So I just want to see my grandkids and spoil them. And let's see, Misha, what do you look forward to?
That's your question. You done?
And then basically, definitely loving my wife. Always loving my wife. And enjoying life. I can tell you what I'm looking forward to maybe 50 years from now. I can definitely tell you what I'm looking forward to. I know I'm adding 25 more. I can definitely tell you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to cussing. Being one of them old people. They just sit around and cuss for no reason. Lord know my heart right there. He should know my heart.
This week on one I don't know you.
We are featuring the Muirs. Patrick and Christina Muir out of Philadelphia. There's going to be a lot of laughs in this one, like a lot of laughs. This episode was way too long.
Yeah, we got cut off.
We got cut off past the recording point. Me and Patrick, his brother, we're best friends. Shout out to Big D, love you, boy. And
I can hear him now.
Right. Check you out. Super weird, bro. But yeah, we met through his brother, and the connection is there. Patrick holds a Bible study every Wednesday night, so definitely check it out. Check out his page to get all the information. And they're back. Patrick and Chrissy they are both ministers, so they're men and women of God who preach the gospel, and they just love the Lord. But at the same time, they're a dope couple. They are a very young couple. They are 2 years into their marriage. And so this episode, you're going to see a lot of progression over the years as they tell their stories from when they first met. They met when they were 8 years old. That's crazy.
Spoiler alert.
Anyways.
What they say in Philly, you
drawling. See, you don't even know the word.
You drawling.
You don't even know the lingo, so just stay out of it.
Y'all don't get put out. Show grace.
Anyways, but yeah, so definitely you're going to enjoy this episode. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughs. We had a great time. I lost my train of thought.
The end, TJ.
So
learn how to cut it off.
Enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show.
Cut it off.
Okay, we cut it off.
We could have put out our matching mugs and stuff. Lord, we gotta do this over.
Yeah, we got to start over.
All right. Well, the next time we do this.
Next time.
All right.
You already started eating. Your plate half done.
I got crab legs.
Crab legs. That's a red velvet waffle.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was
crab legs from this angle.
Let me just
chicken wings, okay.
Right?
Yeah, no. Chicken and waffles, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Thought I'd try something different,
No, we got waffles too. We got stuffed waffles and breakfast food. My plate kind of hot.
Stuffed waffles.
I never even had a stuffed waffle.
You hear them? Distinguished. We got stuffed waffles.
TikTok made us do it.
Yeah, TikTok.
And the view is good.
Yeah.
What you got up the camera?
I'm using my cell phone as the webcam.
Oh. All right, come on.
I'll show y'all how to set all this stuff up. It's very.
Please do.
It's like.
Hair go crazy.
Stop it. No.
Could have got dressed.
Hair's all crazy.
Y'all look good.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were supposed to get dressed.
I
didn't get that memo.
No, I was ill prepared. Very ill prepared.
So next time I'll definitely have to tell everybody.
Yeah, I rolled out of bed and just started cooking.
It wasn't a thing. I just told TJ he couldn't wear any of his hoodies because he always wear his hoodies when he do his.
They matching and stuff. They got on black.
I know.
Turning my camera off.
Right. So just show us what y'all got as far as what y'all made.
All right.
Empty.
Chris is pretty much show the bones.
Oh, here's my piece of chicken.
So I made I attempted to make. I saw this recipe for red velvet waffles, and I fried some chicken, of course. If you can see that.
No, it look good.
Good.
Little something. It's come. I had to make everything from scratch: cream cheese icing and all that stuff. So
cream cheese icing.
Yeah, you know how you make a red velvet cake.
Check you out.
I mean, you know, I can follow directions. I ain't here saying it's an instinct, but you know. Yeah, but you know, so I just do something together, try something different.
Yeah, I was supposed to cook, but I could take credit for all of this.
Okay.
So you didn't cook TJ?
No, I didn't cook this. I was going to cook, but I had a meeting with my pastor and another elder, and I was showing them the new setup for church tomorrow. And so that meeting ran a little bit too over, and I ain't got time to cook. And so Misha did all the cooking. She prepared such a wonderful meal.
This Negro had me on the phone. The men cook.
Now I cook every single episode. Every single episode we put out, I cook.
And he got to cook tomorrow too.
Damn. All right, fair enough.
It's fair. So I mean, I could edit this out. I could edit this part in. I cooked all of this. This is all that. She's looking at me right now.
What are the waffles stuffed with?
Oh, it's strawberry cream cheese filling.
Mm.
So we got a stuffed off of Amazon.
How much was it? It was like
$50.
It was like $50.
$50 to stuff some waffles?
A stuffer.
It's a waffle maker.
Yeah, it's a waffle maker.
So you put the batter down, then you put your filling in, then a little bit more batter on the top, and then just close it.
Yep.
And it'll stuff it for you.
Mm. Yep.
That's good. That's cool. That's decent.
See?
This is actually pretty good.
Mmm.
That's nice.
It looks good.
I like that. That looks really good.
Good job.
Is there questions on that game that say like who has disappointed you lately? Like that or is it something different?
It's like so it's the Christian edition. So
okay.
They do get so like
I like it.
Only because it's TJ. That's just funny. He says
I'm about to order it off Amazon for us to play.
Yeah. And like they ask questions and like it's like conversation starters. Like it just keeps the conversation flowing between couples. And so it's really
2 games.
Yeah, it's 2 games we're gonna play.
He got a question game. I also have a question game, but this one's a little bit more fun. Or it's called How Well.
Question ain't fun?
No,
better than your question game, TJ. You heard her.
His was deep and serious.
Right.
And that was little
Thought provoking.
It's Christian.
And more importantly, it's Christian.
More importantly,
Christ-like. We'll get it kicked off with just you guys you guys talking to us about your love story. You know, start from how y'all met. You know, who said hey first, who said I love you first, and then get to
You can. You gonna go first or me?
It's where y'all at right now. So.
I know you're gonna make me go first.
ladies first.
All right. So we knew each other since like it wasn't a moment where I can say like, oh, this is when I met Patrick, because his mom used to play the organ at my home childhood church that I grew up in. She used to play the organ there, and his uncle and Bishop were friends, and then like his grandfather had his own church too, so it was just all kind of intertwined. Like, you know, we fellowship with them, they fellowship, like it just was, we always was just around each other. So like I always knew him, like I just always knew who he was. always knew who his brother was and family and stuff like that. I remember vividly every Sunday, his mom would play the organ, and around like 11 something, she would get up, walk down the side, leave out the church because their church started at the time started at 12. So we just always knew each other. It wasn't but we never like talked really. I can't remember us like talking that much like as children.
I wanted to, but
I can't remember us talking much as children because I just don't really remember. And I was like
worried about me.
And not that I was like older than him, kinda, because I'm only like almost a year, not even a full year. But
she's a cougar.
We just didn't. I don't know. We just didn't really talk. And so, fast forward probably to like college. I was starting to come home from college, and I would come to church some Sundays because a lot of times I couldn't even go to church because we would be headed back to school. So, but on the Sundays that I could come, I would come, and he was at the church, and he was now playing the keyboard there, and I was like, "That's Patrick!" Like, you know, I was like thinking he was cute and stuff. And my play cousin Brittany, they were together a lot because we all grew up in the church together, even Brittany too. But she sings, and so he plays, and so like she would have like gigs and stuff, and she would ask him to play and everything, and he would always tell her, he'd be like, "Yo, what's up with Chris? Like, just tell her I said hi. Tell her I said hi." She'd be like, "Oh, she has a boyfriend, Patrick." Like, mind you, he had a girlfriend too.
Oh my God! I'll tell my story when it's time.
It's a part of my story. And so, you know, but whatever. And so that's just kind of how it was. And then fast forward to like, I don't know what year that was, but this was like 2014, and I broke up with the guy or whatever. And then me, Brittany, and Joy is my sister, we went out. This was the week of Holy Week. I remember because he was playing at the church for the services. And so we went out to Fridays or something like that. And I was like, telling them, I was like, "Yeah, Patrick was at church today," or whatever. And they knew that I wasn't with the guy no more. So it was like, "Oh, I'm about to tell him that you're available. I'm about to tell him that you're free." And so they inboxed you. It was between Joy and Brittany. Like, both of Brittany was like, "No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And Joy was like, "You wasn't worried about doing it until I was." So I think Joy Instagrammed you, right? Yeah, because she didn't have his number. My sister, she older. She's 35. She'll be she's 35. And so, but she knew him too, because like I said, we all grew up together. And so she DM'd them and was like, "Word on the street is Chris is free," or whatever. And so she sent my number, and he sent me a text message and was like, "What you say?" He was like, I left some stuff out. Like, leading up to that,
I'll tell it.
Because leading up to that, it was like little hints and stuff, but like didn't like all the way follow through with it. He claimed she was flirting on me on Instagram, and she had a boyfriend. He was doing a heavy flirting on Instagram, and this is his pre-Minister Patrick days. Sending little cake emojis and stuff like that. And so, but I missed some stuff. Like, little stuff had happened. Like, you know, we had a church banquet one time. He vows to not think that this is true, but I'm shy or whatever. So he would be like, "You totally ignored me." She did. But that wasn't the case. Like, I was just like that shy and timid because, like, number one, I never had a lot of boyfriends growing up. Like, I just wasn't that girl. Like, I probably had 2 boyfriends. My cousins had to like get me a prom date because I went to an all girls high school as well. So I wasn't around a lot of guys. I just wasn't. And so I was very shy. He can call it what he wants, but I know how I was feeling. I was shy. And so he'll say that I ignored him and stuff like that, but it wasn't like ignoring because I wasn't interested.
Put on my best suit. Because I knew you was gonna be there. Stop.
All right, so fast forward to Brittany, Joy and Brittany. I don't know who. I think Joy did it first. Joy did it first, yeah. So she DM'd them and was like, "Word on the street is Chris is free." And so he texted me, and I text him back like, I'm not that person like gonna be like not text back. I just think that that's childish and that's dumb or whatever. And so we just was texting from there. I said I didn't know what to say. I was still with Joy and Brittany. And like I said, I hadn't dated a lot and stuff. So, and I didn't know like who he was, like what kind of person he was. Because we grew up in the same area, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. We never talked and stuff like that. I can't even tell y'all what I was doing at that moment. Well, right. And so I think my sister took my phone and said something real corny, like a church joke or something, like just something that just it was corny. And so he was like, oh my gosh. Like, he told me after the fact, he like, you one of them. Like, he thought that that's how I was going to be, like, just real, like, overly churchy and just corny with it. Not that you can't tell a church joke or whatever. You can't. And so then we just was text. We did a lot of texting, but we talked on the phone a lot as well. Like, I mean, like 3, 4, 5 hour conversations and stuff. Then one Sunday he was like, why don't you come to church with me? Because he still was playing at Faith and Love this whole time. But Tri-Stone started at 12. So we hung out and we went to service. And then I think we grabbed a bite to eat afterwards. After that church service, he would have a lot of rehearsals during the week because he was still playing for them and stuff. So he would always come over afterwards. We just spent a lot of time together, laughing, joking, having fun. You know, he would hang with my family. I would hang with his. It was just real cool. And then around like 2016, I think. Was it 2016? I think it was like September or something, 2016. And I was taking this class at the church. It was called The Godly Wife, but you didn't have to be married to take the class. It was like anybody could just take it or whatever. What I do is I keep a record of like my prayers. So I have like a prayer journal where I just like, you know, kind of that's how I talk to God. It's real comfortable for me to just write my prayers out. And so we were in a class one day and a woman that was in there, she was married. She had said something. She was just like, you know, when you get married, you should be 2 whole people. Like, you know, you shouldn't be trying to make yourself up within the relationship and things like that. And it wasn't that anything bad or wrong was happening, but I just felt like myself, I was kind of, I don't know, like engrossed in because I knew that this could be something that could work. I'm like, oh my goodness, like we line up with this, we line up with that, we line up with this, you know? So I just knew that it was something that could work. And I kind of, like I said, I never had a lot of relationships and stuff. And so I kind of just got infatuated and idolized the relationship that I found out that like I was not losing my voice because he was making me, but I just wasn't fully walking into, I guess, or developing into my own, like have my own voice and just be comfortable with just like who Chrissy was and like those kinds of things. And so I didn't pray like, oh Lord, I want us to break up or nothing, but I specifically have wrote a prayer out. And I said, God, when Patrick and I get married, I want us to be 2 whole people. You know, I want him to be comfortable in who he is. I want to be comfortable in who I am so that when we come together, it's like 2 wholes coming together, not like 75% of me, 25% of you to like make up this 100% or whatever. I was like, I want us to be 2 whole people when we get married. I specifically wrote that. Like I got the prayer journal in the in my tote or whatever. And so that I prayed that prayer and I sensed that something was like off with us. Like it was just weird. He was acting distant. I wasn't feeling like I said, I wasn't feeling like myself in a relationship either. So I had prayed that prayer and I just prayed it in all sincerity. A couple days later, maybe like a week or something, I was like, what's going on with you? Like, you just don't seem like, this don't feel right. You know, it just wasn't feeling good. And he was like, I just think I need to be by myself. You know, I need to work on me. Like all these different things he was saying. I was hurt by it initially, but what brought me comfort was that I know that I had prayed. And more than anything, I willed and I desired what God wanted. So if he knew my heart and what I was praying, then I had to just trust that if it was going to bring us back together, then it was just going to be a part of his plan. Like it just was going to be what it was going to be. So during that time of us being like broke apart, of course, like I continued to just work on myself. I continued to kind of just develop who Chrissy was and matured in who Chrissy was, and not Chrissy and Patrick like together, and that kind of thing. And so it was probably like a couple months, like 7 months or so. I can't remember that we were kind of not together. Not that we didn't talk sometimes because he did reach out to me. You did.
You was reaching to.
I didn't reach out to him. He was reaching out to me. I did, babe. I didn't reach
out. Tell your
story. And so he would like, I remember vividly one time he was like, it was snowing or something. And he was like, is everything good with your car? Like your tires good and everything? Like you getting to work fine and stuff? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, you know, I'm making it. I'm good. He and I know that I had, for me, women, period, you have to distance yourself. Like it's no intermingling. Like you're going to give all of yourself. So in order to cut off, I had to cut off. you know. So he told me later in the line, he was like, you were so mean when we wasn't talking. I wasn't mean. I was just acting accordingly to the situation, you know. But he, like he said, I was cold, I was mean, but like I can't put my heart out there and, you know, and not be time or and that kind of thing. So we kind of just, I remember us getting back together. I don't know. I think this maybe happened in 2017 because I feel like in 2018, I can't remember, babe, what year it was.
It was the end of, it was probably like the end of 2000. No, it was like, your birthday.
It was 2016, right?
No, your birthday of 2017.
But I feel like we was no, it had to happen in September 2016 because I feel like in 2017 we weren't together really.
Oh, I thought you meant when we got back together.
Yeah, we got back together in 18.
Oh, we got engaged in 18.
I thought we got back together that February. Well, it kind of just like mended back together. Like I can't tell the timelines and stuff.
It just all was just so great that it just
it just kind of went back together. You know, we just kind of got back together, and I can tell when we did get back together, things were different. One thing that he shared with me is, you know, I went away to school. I had time to be on my own, experience some things on my own. Even when I had came back from school, I wasn't right at my parents' house. My sister and I had lived together, and then that didn't last forever. And then, you know, I went back to my parents' house and stuff. But I know he was sharing with me, he was like, you know, I just felt like I didn't have an opportunity to do that. You know, it's just kind of like from parents' house, and that's just kind of what it was. He didn't have that time to break apart and break free or whatever. Once we got back together, things were pretty different. You know, I felt like I was more just mature. I had to learn how to be able to be like vocal kind of, because I'm kind of like a passive person. So if things bother me or if things upset me, I'm not like the best at talking about them and articulating them. You know, it's just hard for me. Not that I don't, and it's not that I don't want to talk about it, but it's just like something just overwhelmed me to where I just can't get it out. So I was working on myself like during that time as well. And it was funny because I'm gonna tell the story. I don't know if God was just keeping me alone, because it wasn't like I wouldn't have talked to somebody else if they approached me. But like all the guys that approached me was like I wasn't interested or whatever. One person did that I was going to talk to, never called me. You know, never, ever, 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 ever called. So I'm like, well, maybe that was just God.
You never told me about this.
I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Uh-oh.
I never talked. I told you that I never talked to nobody because I didn't. I never.
You never told me about nobody you was interested in.
One person gave me their number. No, I gave one person my number, but they never called me. They never text me. They never said, hey, hello. So I just was like, you know what? Okay, it is what it is. Like, maybe this is God just keeping me by myself and everything like that until we get back together. So we finally did, just kind of just like fell back, and things just fell back into place, and we just got back together. And it was April 29th, 2018. And we would like talk about getting married and things like that. And my cousin, I remember specifically, we was in a car one day and Patrick had FaceTimed me. She was like, "We're gonna marry you soon." Like she could just, I don't know. She just said it. And I'm like, oh, shut up. Like, you don't know that. Like, you know, I didn't want to get overly excited about it, impressed. And, you know, because then now you're looking like every time something strange happened or every time the schedule go a little off, you might think that person is like planning something or whatever. And so it was funny because the day that he proposed, my sister kept saying, I like to get my nails done. And I think I had like a yellow or something on my nails like the week before. She was like, listen, Chrissy, you don't know. I guess he must have told her, please make sure she got her nails done because this is what she cares about and stuff. And so she was like, take that yellow off your nails. Like you might get engaged at any time. Your nails need to be right so that you know how girls are and stuff. But she kept saying that. And so I'm like, okay, Joy, like I'll just take it off. And so I think I had got my nails done like that Saturday, which is funny. So that Sunday, it was like the perfect day. I don't know, like it was just such a good day. Like it was just good energy. Like I could catch him like staring at me on different moments and stuff, but he knew what he was going to do. I had no idea. Well, I had a slight idea because my sister is just, she tries to be discreet, but God, she's not like all the way discreet. So I didn't know specifically that he was going to do it. I didn't know. And even like fast forward to a couple years ago when we had broke up, she was there when it happened. And I was like, what is this? Like, how did this happen or whatever? And she was like, Chrissy, he loves you. I'm trying to tell you, he even had a ring and he was going to propose on your birthday because we had broke up a little after my birthday. My birthday is in August. We broke up. I want to say it was like September around that time. She said he had a ring. He was going to propose. Like, just relax, you know. And so that had brought me some kind of comfort along with the prayer and stuff. Because I'm like, I know I ain't just waste years talking to somebody when, you know, it's just going to be just that's it. And so fast forward to the engagement, she was kind of acting like, I don't know, I just know her well. So I can kind of like read her and when things are like about to pop off and stuff. So Bishop called us up for prayer. We had an afternoon service. And it was funny because my best friend was there, but she don't even go to that church no more. We did when we grew up. This is actually Brittany's sister. Her name is Tweety. She was there. And it wasn't like odd to me that like certain people were at the church because my dad had preached that morning. So for the second service, they just like stuck around. So it wasn't like, what you doing here? You never come. So Bishop called us up for prayer. And then after the prayer was over, he got down on one knee. And that's when he like proposed and stuff. I was so like, first of all, my heart was beating fast because Bishop is not the kind of person that just like really calls up an unmarried couple to pray for them. And we were both like youth leaders at the time, but he didn't call up all the youth leaders. Like, he just called up us. So like my heart is like beating fast, like what in the world is about to go on or whatever like that. And so then that's when Patrick got down on one knee and we got engaged. We got engaged April 29th. The next day he was packed up and like moved out of the place so we could like save up some money and stuff. And we got married in December. But in that interim period of time, it was just funny because like I was trying to like get a new job aggressively. It was crazy. Even the day I had an interview set up, they called me and was like, oh, you know, don't come. They're having another candidate. I had like a bunch of phone interviews. I was trying to leave the company that I was in. But it was just crazy because the moment that we got engaged, so many things, like it was just a blessing of what was happening. We were looking for an apartment. We actually were going to live in Jersey because that's where he was living at the time. He was working there. My job, I had a little more flexibility. I just would have to cross the bridge and just come. You know, it's not that far to Pennsylvania or to Philly, rather. And so we went to this place in Jersey to look at an apartment. And the lady was like, oh, well, what do you do? You know, and I was like, well, I actually work in this industry too. I do this, and this. And she's like, well, you should apply here. And I'm like, okay. So as we begin to like just take the pamphlets and read about things that the company offered, we knew we needed somewhere to live. And so you could live in any of their communities for a discount. And so we like, wow, like if I got this, we could, because we knew we wanted to get married soon. And so we could just not hurry up as in rush things, but this would be a blessing because you can live at a discounted rate and have a job, of course, too. And I wanted to get out of where I was. And so I applied, nothing happened. And so now I was on their mailing list. That's when they sent me the email like, hey, we're having a career fair. You should come. Patrick was like, Chris, go. Like, you never know what can come of it. You should just go. So I went. I got hired on the spot. I started July the 30th, 2018, the day, because I remember it was the day before his birthday. His birthday is the 31st. So I started that day. A condition of him to get in the apartment for a discount, you only had to work for them for, I think, 30 days. So, of course, we had time between now and the wedding to, like, shop and see where we wanted to be. And so we got the place. We didn't have to put a lot of money down to, like, move in here. And he was looking for a new job as well during that time. He gets a new job in September. So it was just like all these great things were happening. And God was just really kind of just like shining on us and like making things work in our favor. Like we didn't have to force things. We didn't have to break our backs to like make things happen and stuff. So I feel like God was just giving us his blessing and like blessing our union. Even a lot of stuff, even like with the wedding, like how things were just working out, like stuff was just working out for us. Like just, and it's crazy. I had prayed a prayer too. It's in my prayer journal. I said, Lord, please bless us in ways in which only you can get the glory. Like no human person can say like, oh yeah, I hooked Chrissy up. I hooked Patrick up. And this is what happened. The way that things happened, it was nobody but God. You know, like I said, I was getting turned down for interviews the morning of the interview. Like, hey, don't come. And now I just get hired on the spot at a career fair. And the place in which I work is about 20 minutes from here. His job is about 15 minutes from here. It just was just so convenient how God just kind of blessed us and just looked out for us. So that's kind of my condensed version. I'm sure I probably could have say more, but that's just it in a nutshell.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory.
So
like, all right.
I'm messing. You know how they be doing the church when you be doing that.
To God be the glory.
Right.
To God be the glory for real, but you know.
For real. That's good.
It was really just God, the way things were working out for us.
What's your version of the events, Patrick?
The same.
Because you were making some.
I don't need to tell it, right?
You was making some faces during that time.
I let her. Perception is reality. So if a lot of what she said was her perception, then that's what's true to her. But anyway, our journey started a long time ago. Like she said, I knew her from childhood. Me being a little young boy, I always had eyes on her. When I was a kid, I was like, "Yo, Chrissy kind of cute."
You never spoke to me. Oh, I didn't interrupt you. You didn't interrupt me.
But I used to be checking for Chrissy when I was a youngin'. Like I used, little boy. You know how you was? You about 7 or 8, have a crush on somebody. So, I had my eyes on Chrissy for a while. We went through life. We grew up. Went through all our transitions and stuff. And then I started playing at the church again. She wasn't there when I started playing at her church, at her home church. She was at college, but I remember the couple Sundays that she did come. I would look up like, "Oh snap, that's Chrissy." But I had to make sure I was on point with everything I was playing. On my licks and stuff was hitting. So
you're stupid.
Yeah, I was going on. When your crush is in the audience, you start wilding out. So. But nah, I was
extra notes in there.
Yeah, basically on point. That's all. And I used to be looking at her and stuff. But long story short, one night I actually got up and I had spoke to her, and service was done, and I did not give you a pound. We're in church, so I walked up, I shook her hand, I said, "Hey, Chris, how you doing?" He said, yeah, like nobody.
He was like this. He was like,
I didn't do this to your story.
I'm trying to bring you.
It's a lie. Believe me, it's a lie. So I walked up. I was leaving, and the thing was, like the way I was leaving out, Chris usually sits on the whole other side of the church. So it just so happened that she was on this side. So I'm like, all right, I gotta speak to her. I can't not. We correspond on Instagram, comment and like each other's stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't like being that weird person. Yeah. Like, I talk behind the computer, but when I see you in person, I just walk by you. I just think people like that are weird. I know people like that, but I'm just saying. So I'm walking out and I was like, "Hey, Chris, what's up?" But I just kept it real casual. I didn't jump in the whole, "What's up? We need to hook up." Like, no, I just was real regular. I said, "Hey, Chris, how you doing?" I shook her hand. She said, "Hey, Patrick." And I was like, "Have a good night." That's it. I left. So
that's the same night, or like
it was the next night. Yeah, okay. So like the next night, her sister inboxes me and says, "Hey, bro, word on the street, Chris is free. This is her number. You should text her." So in my mind, I'm rewinding to a couple of events that took place the months prior. Just want to set the scene because my response was, "Man, Chris ain't worried about me, whatever." Like she was like, "I'm trying to tell you, bro. I know my sister." So all I'm thinking of is they had a church anniversary banquet probably a few months before that, and I knew I was going, so I made sure I was on point. I was like, I'm gonna have my good suit on. Chrissy gonna be there. Let me make sure I'm tight. You know what I'm saying? So don't pull up pictures. Okay. Please. Thank you. I get there, and it just so happens that, like, how a banquet is, you get in line and go up for your food and stuff. And
stop. Go ahead, talk.
Go ahead, talk. Just be normal for once. you know how
just be normal.
This is my normal.
She was ready to show pictures and stuff. So when how you get up, you going in line for food. It just so happened that I'm in line, me and my brother's in line, and her sisters are right behind us. So I'm like, oh snap. So like it was like the pressure was on. So Joy, her older sister, me and her, we always had like a cool relationship. So we're talking, we in the line. She's like, "Yo, bro, you look fly, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yeah, you look good too." We chopping it up. Chrissy has her complete back turned to me.
Nervous.
Like, as if I'm not even there. Her whole back is to me. So in that moment, I'm like, yo, she's really not interested. Like, I'm just like, she probably would never even talk to me. So I chalked it. So I just didn't think nothing of it. So, fast forward to the, even Instagram, different stuff. I asked one of my homies about her one day. He was like, nah, bro, you can get that up. She got a dude. She in love with him. So I really was just like, wow, there's probably really no hope for this situation to happen. So left it alone. Then to get that inbox, I was kind of like, I don't want nobody playing in my face. I don't like playing like that, So I just was like, all right, whatever, I'll text her. So I shot her a text and the rest was history. I mean, we never really had like a set moment where we was like, you want to be my girlfriend or you want to be my boyfriend or like the first I love you. What?
He said something like, so I'm off the market.
It was like, but I'm just saying, I never had like a formal, nobody ever had that kind of talk. So it just started from a friendship and just went from there. It just started from like casual conversation, texting, and just kind of grew into what we have. So yeah, fast forward a few years down the line, it was just some stuff going on that I want to say this the right way without going into too much detail. There were some things that were happening within our relationship that I wasn't really comfortable with. And there was some other, a couple of events that took place that I didn't really agree with and that weren't in line with what I was praying for as far as like a wife is concerned. And I had to kind of take a step from the situation to evaluate and make sure like this is where I need to be. I also had some growing to do within myself, some things to walk into as a man of God, all of that kind of stuff that I just needed to separate myself just to be isolated for whatever season. In that time, did I miss her? Of course, I mean, why wouldn't you? You spent, 3-4 years with somebody. Of course you're going to miss them. She takes it as me reaching out, but I honestly was just genuinely checking in on her. If it's snowing outside and you drive the car you drive in, she drove a little Honda Civic coupe. Mm-hmm. And so y'all down south, but when it snow up here, like it really get bad. So, I would text her to make sure she's okay. That just simple. Are you okay? Well, I don't want to look up and see nobody on the news and nothing crazy, you spinning out of control or nothing. So we were still seeing each other at church. So it was kind of hard to not still have some kind of feelings. It's hard to not want to communicate with that person or like, you in church and then like I look up and like it just so happens that where she sits is like right in front of the organ. So I'm like looking over the organ and she's right there every week. I'm like, oh my God. So long story short, fast forward, we start linking up again. I wanted to take her out for her birthday. Her birthday was in August. So we hung out for her birthday.
That's when I turned 27.
Right? We went to the art museum, I think, right?
We went to the art museum.
And then I surprised.
Just a bunch of places.
No, we went to the art museum and then I had everybody at Redstone waiting for you. Mm-hmm. So, we went to the art museum, Redstone, surprised her. And then after that, we kind of started, she started liking me a little bit more. We were a little more friendly at that point. And then that wrapped us around into the new year. And that May, we got engaged.
April 29th.
April 29th, I'm sorry. I keep saying May because the next day was May. But April 29th, we got engaged. I had set it up already. I prayed probably before, because I bought the ring in like March. Probably like March, I think. I got the ring. I had me and my brother made a whole situation. We had a whole arrangement. I prayed to God. I said, Lord, I want to marry her. If you make because I didn't have money like that. I was working at Nordstrom. I was living my life, living at the crib with my homies. So I was like, Lord, if you make a way for me, I'll take it as a sign that this is who you want me to marry, and that you'll order our steps from this point forward. It was really like a step out on faith. I had no real money savings to be like, all right, I'm ready to go get married, because that's essentially what I was waiting on. I mean, a lot of times as the man, we like, look, I got to get this in line and that in line and this together first before I even think about proposing to somebody. But like what I've learned, and this could be advice for anybody, like you guys are better together. You and your significant other, you and your spouse, you're better together. You'll accomplish a lot more together. So don't feel like you got to have it all together, because you might have some pieces and your wife might have some pieces, and vice versa. you bring those resources together, you never know what you guys will be able to accomplish. And I was the kind of person who had the mentality of, I got to have everything in line before I even think about buying a ring. So I got to a point where I was like, well, I'm getting older. Chris is getting older. I noticed at this point, she's kind of like, all right, yo, like, what's up? Like, she ain't verbalizing it, saying it, but I could just tell, like, she's like, all right, I'm ready to get married. Like, you're playing. Like, we've been dating for 5 years at this point. So I prayed one night. I just said, God, if you make a way for me to be able to get a ring, because like I said, I didn't really have no money like that. I said, if you make a way for me to be able to get a ring, I'll take it as your sign to go ahead and just propose and just, I'll trust that you're ordering our steps from this point forward. So boom, got the ring in March. And, at that point, I talked to my bishop. I said, look, in the next fifth Sunday service, because we have a fellowship service every fifth Sunday afternoon where all our churches come together. I said, next service, I want to propose to Chrissy. And, I said, if you would just call us up for prayer. And then like immediately when you're done the prayer, I'll just go to one knee. And, he starts smiling. He's like, all right. Like, he was like, all right, let me think about it, So I'm like, all right, cool. So I bought the ring. He never got back to me. He be having a lot going on, so I understand. He never really got back to me concerning it because it was really like a one-off conversation. And got the ring. I started making other plans for a proposal. I was like, maybe if I have all our family and friends at the restaurant, like, just thought a bunch of different ways. And then I started thinking about it again. I was like, man, the church thing will be cool because we'll have everybody there. All our church family and friends will be there. So I was like, you know what, let me just ask him again. So I asked him again that Sunday. I brought the ring with me to church. And I said, are we good for this afternoon? He was like, yes, I got you. I'll do it right after the sermon. So I was like, cool. Man, he preached his sermon. Sermon was good. The moment he was like, I want to pray for 2 young people, I was like, oh, snap, this is it. Like, so I'm kind of like, my heart, how your chest get hot?
Everybody got hot.
You just be warm, like everything warm. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, we get down there, we pray. I'm gonna tell you now, his whole prayer was like white noise. Like, I don't know what he said because all I'm thinking about is my next move. I'm like, what I'm about to do. His whole prayer was like, shh. Like, I don't know what he said. I just remember him saying, like, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I was like, oh, this is it. So I dropped to one knee. Everybody started going crazy. We got engaged. April, I say May, but it was April 29th. Chrissy, I'll just give you the timeline. Engaged April, Chrissy got a job July. I got a job September. We got an apartment by October. We got married December. So literally God like orchestrated every single step. Mm-hmm. And he held true to his promise of what I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm a firm believer. God honors marriage.
Yeah.
Like God honors marriage. Obedience is the most important principle as far as when it comes to your relationship with God, when it comes to following God. He doesn't want your sacrifices or anything as much as he wants your obedience. Your obedience is a heart posture. I'm gonna obey you. I trust you enough to follow your lead. And in our obedience, he wants us to be married. He wants us to be together. It's not good for man to be alone. He honors the union of marriage. He honors the sanctity, the sacredness of marriage. So when you decide to make a step like that, which we did, he honored it every step of the way. He put his blessing on it, not just from someone saying it, not just from someone prophesying it, but literally from the fruit of what was happening in our lives. We had no idea what was going to happen next. The moment I dropped to one knee and put a ring on it, we're excited about that moment, but it's like, okay, there's the moment. Now what? Like, what happens now? Where do we live? Where do we move to? How are we going to make this? How are we going to make that? Do you have enough money saved up? Where's the resources going to come from? Budgeting, you got to put our money together now. It's just so much that you kind of got to start putting into play and start wrapping your mind around. But literally, God took us by the hand and walked us through every step of the way, even to the point we are at today. One of my main prayers is not for, life to just happen and come at me, but I pray to God for wisdom very often, especially as a husband. Our mandate is to lead our household spiritually, financially, physically. However, we have to lead by example. And oftentimes my main prayer is for wisdom, because I'm gonna just be real with you. I had a father in my life, and he led me and guided me. But until you're in that position, you really don't know how you're going to handle it. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what to do. Sometimes instincts kick in, and all I ever pray for is just, God, give me wisdom to maneuver, give me wisdom to navigate, give me the know-how to just make the best decisions for my family, because my true mind is, I don't have it all figured out. I don't know it all. I don't have it all together, but through the help of God and God leading me, I'm able to lead my family. With God's aid and with God's assistance, I'm able to make the right decisions for my family, for my wife, and for our children to come. So, that's where we are today, man. Through the grace of God, like, we're 2 years in. This is year 2. We're 2 years in, and like I said, man, we rocking out. We making it happen. So I'm grateful to God.
We'll jump to the second segment, which will be the 88 conversation starter questions. I'm advertising this like I got a contract with them.
They might cut you a check. Speaking in existence, bro.
Man, they better. They better. But 88 great conversation starters for husbands and wives. This is the Christian edition. And these are just a few questions that we're going to ask. It's meant to be very... Huh?
What's a Christian edition?
They have Christian principles. You see...
They're going to be asking this quick scriptures.
Like, this one question has a scripture on the bottom of it. It has Philippians 1:6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on.
To the end of Jesus Christ.
Jesus, come on. Yeah, bye. Anyway. But yeah, we're going to jump to this. The first question I want to ask is, name 3 character traits you admire the most about your spouse.
I would say, dang, this is like a on the spot. I would say, like, passion, number 1. I never feel that anything he does is that he doesn't do with, like, our household, our future. We don't have children yet, but, like, our children and all those kinds of things in mind. Like, I know that he's very motivated by our family. Like, so all of his decisions, he doesn't make hasty decisions and things like that that would jeopardize anything for us. Like, I know that his heart is, like, here and, like, in just with what we have and then what we want to grow into and build into. So that's something that's very admirable. And, like, when you feel a part like that, and when you feel included in like that kind of way, like that this person, like, that they got you, that just makes you reciprocate that, like, reciprocate that same type of that passion and that energy and those things. So, like, I guess passion and, like, selflessness, they kind of, like, will go hand in hand, but that's still just kind of one.
That was one.
Yeah. But you said you got to say 3, right? What else? He helped me in areas to, I don't know, how can I say it? I don't know if confidence is the right word, or if it's like, I don't know, like, he helps me, like, I feel like he completes me in a way to be vocal, because, like I said before, I'm really not that person, so he helps me kind of, like, I don't know, like, Chris, you're grown, like, you can say this, or you can do this, or you can feel this way, like, kind of like the confidence to...
He brings the best out of you.
Yeah, like, things that I lack, you know what I mean? Like, things that I know, like, I just don't have. Like, he pulls those things out of me and helps me to feel comfortable, like, walking and, like, affirm me and, like, walking in those things and stuff like that. When it comes to the things that I kind of tend to, like, shy away from and stuff like that. And then I guess it's just, like, sense of humor, because we got, like, some of the dumbest stuff that we do, and sometimes we do it around people, and, like, they don't get it. Like, they look at us kind of like they just like, they just really don't know, and we just, I don't know. It's like we got this sense of humor. We just click, like, some dumb, stupid insiders that we laugh at, like, the dumbest stuff. Like, just things like that. And it's just, I don't know, that just puts so much character and, life in your relationship. I feel like, you know, because even if it happened like 5 months ago, we're like, yo, remember when such and such? Remember when, like, you know, like those kinds of things.
Ours are gonna kind of mirror each other because she's definitely super passionate. Like you can even see it in her body language when she talks. She's always like, you know, her hands and stuff. So like everything that she goes for, she's just really passionate about it. She's particular, not in a bad way, but she just wants things done how she wants them done and when she wants them done. Not in a negative sense, but you know, you got your moments where you be kind of like, this got to go away here, this got to go here. Very particular, and I'm falling in line as we go. You know,
that's some 50 things you admire.
I admire it because we got a well kept home. You know, our crib be clean and stuff all the time, so it's very admirable. Nobody want to come into a junkie house with stuff everywhere. She's particular. Somebody got to be because I'm not. So if it was up to me, like you know, I know we was joking and stuff when I said like you know she's bougie and she looks bougie, but once you do get her opened up and you get to talking to Chrissy, you understand like her personality and her spirit is just such a loving and inviting spirit. She's just a loving and inviting person. That's like my biggest character for her because she's just like, you know, she's mushy and she's, you know, but we laugh all day, we joke all day because she's easy to love. You know, she's easy to get along with. She's easy to pair with. I can't really see too many people like me. On the other hand, I can't see too many people saying like, I don't like Chrissy. Like, you know, she's this, that, and the third. Cause I mean, she don't do nothing that nobody wouldn't like. Like she don't talk about people. She don't be, you know, she's not rude to people. You know, but she's just a loving person. I think that's like the biggest character for me. Like just her spirit, her energy is just really, really loving, really, really, really warm.
Chrissy, when you said passion, my mind went left.
I didn't know we was going. I don't know what you want to say on here, so
like,
He's a very passionate person. Take it how you want.
Right. Like good. All right, so we're gonna switch over to your game.
Yes, this game is called "How Well Do You Know Your Spouse?" So,
oh Lord.
I'm gonna ask Patrick a question. You have to answer for Christy, but Christy, you also have to write your answer down.
Okay.
So say, what's Christy's favorite toothpaste or whatever? You got to write it down. Okay.
Favorite toothpaste?
No, she said if that's the question.
That's a good question. I don't know.
So y'all just flip your answers at the same time, okay?
Okay.
Y'all got it?
Mm-hmm.
So he just write my answers down right now.
Write it down, or you can use your phone. This is the game with the phone.
Okay. So I'm answering for Chrissy now, right?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
All right. So no, actually, this one is Chrissy's question. How does Patrick like to relax after a long weekend?
What you say?
Turn to the camera.
You can't see it. I'm writing.
I said in my chair watching TV.
Yeah. I said spending time together, relaxing in his chair on the couch.
There you go.
Christina, what is Patrick's go-to pleasure meal or dessert?
Fried chicken. any type of wings. Wings, fried chicken, thighs.
Right.
Wings, garlic parm wings, hot wings. He's just a wing. He like wings. And he loves chocolate chip cookies.
She right.
The chocolate chip cookies.
She right.
She right.
Put his phone down.
Right.
You gotta type nothing out.
All right. If Christina could eat the same meal for a month, what would it be?
Salmon.
Yeah. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
He's right.
Wings and salmon.
Love salmon.
All right. What is Patrick's number one love language?
Spending time. Quality time.
Okay. What's Christina's number one love language?
Affectionate touch. What's that? Passionate touch or affection?
Something like that. We took the test once, but we didn't really talk about it. But yeah,
Just the
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of it, the exact name, but it's like touching and all the.
Yeah. He be doing that, and he be like, "This how you want to be treated 24/7."
So
signs of affection or something like that.
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
All right, this one is for both of y'all. What was Patrick and what was Christina wearing on you guys' first date?
Ooh,
5 years? No, that was longer than 5 years.
I don't even know what I had on our first date.
Where do we go? I when I got my new job at.
If that's the case, you had on a.
Is that when we went to Redstone?
Yeah.
But
Well,
that was I remember our first date. You had to work. Excuse me. You had to work. We actually you didn't. I think you had to work. Then you got off. We went to the outlets actually, and then we went to outlets.
That wasn't our first date.
Yes, it was.
That wasn't the first date. That wasn't the first date.
Oh, we went to the movies.
Right. That.
Yeah.
Right.
We went to go see King Kong or Godzilla, something with the monkey or something. Yeah. We went to go see Godzilla.
What she was wearing?
I don't even know what I was wearing, y'all.
I don't think I can remember what I was wearing.
I remember what you were wearing. Do you remember what I was wearing? Remember what you were wearing?
What she was wearing, TJ? Tell her.
She had on jeans and a hoodie because we was going to the state fair, but because we couldn't go to the state fair, it rained out. We ended up going to the movies and we went to the L House. You did have a hoodie on. Yes, you did.
No, can you remember what you told me you was doing during the movies?
What was I doing during the movies?
Oh.
You cut my call this time.
On the first date?
Yeah. On the first date? Nah. Oh, you were wearing that.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I had on either.
No, it was a black and white shirt.
The black coat and a white shirt.
It was a white, yeah. I wasn't watching the movie that much. I can tell you what movie we went to go see though. We went to go see Law Abiding Citizen.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
They shot that on the Philly.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. Went to the L House and went to the movies.
Yep. Yeah, and then we kicked it in the car for a little bit.
I don't remember. I could fail that question. I don't remember what she had on.
I don't either, so don't feel bad.
I don't remember.
Hey, what was that question?
I remember driving in Malibu.
Yeah, I was driving on.
And we I don't remember, y'all.
Yeah.
I know we went to the movies. Did we go get food too? I feel like we did because we was on 309 up that area. Did we go to Olive
I don't
Garden?
think we got food.
We did. I think we did. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's not a date.
What?
That's not a date.
Which one?
Nah.
We did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did. That's not a date though.
Yeah, but I think that was our first official date though.
Yeah, because we did other stuff before that.
We did other stuff before that and hung out. But
Patrick, what was she wearing when you first saw her?
When I first saw Chrissy?
Yeah.
She was 8.
I was a child, bro.
Ryan, Sue.
You should remember stuff like that.
You might remember.
Prior. Checking for
Ryan, Sue with that brown head.
All right.
All right.
And when Patrick, I was like, oh, he glowed up. I never said that.
You didn't have to.
I never said that.
You didn't have
and I was like, that's Patrick? And yeah.
What about when you proposed to her? Do you remember what she had on?
I know exactly what she had on.
I had on some black jeans with Chelsea boots, a white button up, and a
jean
Levi's denim jacket.
Yeah. He did.
And she had on these black pumps with black stockings and a black dress, but the skirt was kind of flared out.
Yeah, it was like peppermint.
And her hair was in an ombre bob. It was blonde.
You got the hairstyle.
I definitely did.
I had a mohawk.
He did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You was looking cute that day.
I mean,
you was looking cute.
Going down in the mirror house tonight.
Right?
It was all fresh.
I was elevation ready that Sunday. I could have walked right up there, start singing, "This is my testimony."